people, it's your girl.
My people, my people.
Okay, no, not today, not today. At least not right now. It's not all the time that we are doing political, because these politicians, they never get to us. Let's just talk about regular people that are doing amazing things in Nigeria. First of all, guys, let me ask you, how would you like to never have to buy fuel ever again? And not even have to need it. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, sit down tight. Let me tell you about one man that is making this possible in Maiduguri, Borno State. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet 29-year-old Mustafa Gagibo in Maiduguri, Borno State, who's turning regular minibuses into electric minibuses.
Lawan's bus is one of the several newly converted electric buses that is being distributed to drivers in the state. The bus is a brainchild of Nigerian entrepreneur Mustafa Gagibo, who has been converting petrol minibuses into electric vehicles at his workshop.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. That is really, really cool. And I am so happy because this is happening in Maiduguri, the epicenter of the Boko Haram attacks. We're usually talking about the atrocities of Boko Haram or the bandits, but today I am so excited that we're talking about technology in Maiduguri. And just imagine where they would have been if not for all the terrorist attacks that has happened over the years in Maiduguri especially. So we're so proud of this guy. First of all, he is turning regular buses into electric buses. I don't know if you guys saw the picture or the video really well. You could see solar panel at the top of his buses. And by the way, he's been doing this for 3 years. It's only a few months ago that the buses started working. And I'm so happy that he didn't give up, because there must have been a lot of challenges and frustration while he was working on this project. So a lot of reports are telling us that he didn't finish school, that he's a student of mechanical engineering at the University of Maiduguri, and that he dropped out. But to me, it doesn't matter. All I know is that he's turning regular buses into electric buses. So guys, when they interviewed him, he talked about why he decided to do this.
You can see we always have prices of fuel are going up, prices of transportation are also going on, and then you can see the damages normal vehicles, that's the petrol-powered vehicles, diesel-powered vehicles, are causing to our environment.
Isn't that genius? We have fuel scarcity. Like every few months, people are lining up to buy fuel in Nigeria. Instead of just complaining, he decided to do something about it. How many mechanical engineering graduates do we have in Nigeria? Plenty, millions. And I'm not saying that they're not doing anything. I'm just saying that he is putting his knowledge into use. Let him be a challenge to you today. What can you do? Now, let me tell you why I love what he's doing. First of all, he's making these buses, and then he has drivers that are coming into his shop that he's employing to drive these buses. And so they are taking these buses out there on the streets already. And his buses are preferred to regular buses. You know why?
Customers are enjoying the car because they are sitting comfortable. Those that are using fuel, they are taking them 4 per seat and 17 naira. Our car, we are carrying them 3 per seat, and it's 50 naira. So the car is very nice, very okay.
That's amazing. See, because he's not buying fuel. They are not paying for fuel. They don't need petrol. So they're able to afford to subsidize the price of taking the bus. They're able to afford for you not to feel crowded. Each of these buses have like a tablet where the drivers at any point in time, by clicking on his app, can see how charged their bus is, or if they need to go and charge it. And he has a charging station as well. It takes about 35 minutes to charge the bus, and it lasts up to 100 kilometers. That's amazing.
These electric cars have helped us solve so many problems, especially when it comes to buying fuel. Now we drive for about 120 kilometers every day on one full charge, and the charging doesn't last more than 35 minutes.
And they have music on the same tablets so that the passengers on the bus can enjoy themselves.
Embedded with radio and other advanced technology for ease of communication and music for relaxation, the impressive 7-seater bus with 2 sliding doors for entrance also has an encrypted solar panel on the roof.
But what I love the most about what Mustafa is doing is that every 2 weeks, each driver has to come in with his bus for maintenance.
After every 2 weeks, all the vehicles will come in for maintenance. So what we do here for maintenance is to check the battery level, to check all the batteries are well tight, to check the BMS battery management system if they are working well, or to see if there is any damage in connection or there is any loss in power of the batteries.
You know, I'm really feeling this guy. Every 2 weeks, they will bring the buses in and he would make sure that everything is intact. He's now waiting for the buses to break down before they start running around trying to figure out what to do. You see why this man is inspiring.
We came up with first design of mass transit systems, like the buses, tricycles, and other small vehicles which are mainly used in our streets.
So right now, he's working on building his own electric bus from scratch. He's having problems with importing parts and so on. And he wants the government to also help in what he's doing. So once again, shout out to this guy. We're so proud of him. And you know, if not for the fact that the vehicles would need maintenance like every 2 weeks, I would have said, how can I get an electric bus as well to be using in my village? So since I cannot be going to Borno every 2 weeks for maintenance, please, all the engineers in my village, I'm just begging, I'm not going to call out any names. All of you that are engineers in my village or engineering students, can you also please come up with something like what Mustafa is doing? Just imagine if we have Mustafa in every single state of Nigeria. Slowly we can start transitioning into electric vehicles. And you guys know all the advantages of electric vehicles that I've talked about on the show, preventing air pollution and the fact that you don't have to pay for fuel ever again. So please help your girl, help me somebody. If you can do something like this, so start working on it. Even if you have never done it, start working on it. Please, we need more of Mustafa in Nigeria so that very soon Nigerians will not have to keep queuing for petrol. And it's just so frustrating that even though we're an oil producing country, we always have to queue for fuel. And by the way, our leaders are not ready to do anything to change that. And now we just got the biggest refinery in Africa. Does this mean we will continue to depend on fuel? Please and please, if you're an engineering student, see if you can also do what Mustafa is doing. What I don't know is whether or not people are able to take their cars to him for him to convert their vehicles into electric vehicles. I think that would be really cool. Now, as I conclude his story, I want to point out the fact that he's employing people, and they are all young people, the people that he's employing. Right now, he already has 12 workers working in his shop, maintaining the vehicles, helping him to convert more buses, helping him to build the bus that he's working on. He's already employed 12 people. And he has the vision to employ even more people. Also, he has 20 buses out already, and his vision is to get out at least 4,000 buses. So one bus at a time. He's converting regular buses into electric buses. Shout out to you, my brother. We appreciate you. You guys not do much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. To South Africa, guys, I just want to start out by thanking South Africans, as in, especially my father. You guys know I have just one father in South Africa, that is Julius Malema, and his party, the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. So on the 25th of May was Africa Day, and guess what South Africans did? They decided to fight for all of Africa when it comes to Africa and France relationship. They marched to the doorsteps of the French embassy in South Africa just to demand that France stop colonizing Africa in this modern age.
France still has its dirty little fingers deeply stuck in its former French colonies.
Wow, as in, did you hear that, sister? Like, my father and my God. I love South Africans because they're not afraid to call a spade a spade. They just say it as it is. France's little fingers, can you imagine? As expected, Julius Malema was out there calling France all kinds of names.
And call on all neo-colonized people under the so-called Francophone to reject France's colonial rulership and control.
Wow, thank you so much. And I know that a lot of Francophone countries would love what these people did in South Africa. In fact, I believe that Cameroonians would really like, I saw this placard, I said, you know, they were saying to stop Paul Biya of Cameroon. So I think it's wonderful what they did. Now, guess what happened? The French ambassador to South Africa, you know, decided to respond to these things. First of all, let me just say, they refused to sign the petition.
We cannot sign the memorandum because it's your memorandum, but we will convey the memorandum to Paris.
of course, they will not sign it. So no disappointment right there. But the things that this ambassador said, I was like, hey, people they lie. Oh.
France today is a partner of Africa, is a friend of the African nations.
Did he just say that we are friends? He really just called France a friend of Africa. The devil is a liar.
Today, there is, I think, an ongoing, very vibrant relation and cooperation between France and the African nations. And what we do on a daily basis is to stand by the African people and to stand by the African nations.
Why is he lying though? What?
It's not France that prevents these African partners from being more independent. That's not our view of the situation at all.
Oh, did you hear all that? France. This is 2022. Okay, now for those who may not know, because a lot of Africans that were not colonized by France, they don't know the trouble the Francophone African countries are going through. How can you call yourself a friend of Africa when you are literally controlling the economy of all these Francophone countries? Do you know that France is controlling their money?
L'indépendance de ces pays, c'est toujours la France qui gère la monnaie de ses anciennes colonies. Une situation unique.
Oh, the devil is a liar. Can you imagine another country being the one in control of your currency? In fact, I did a whole episode about this in the past. They make them deposit 50% of the CFA franc reserve into the French central bank. This is just ridiculous.
Centrales de la zone franc doivent déposer 50% de leurs réserves de change à la Banque de France.
Their entire foreign reserve in France.
African countries that were under French colonial rule are forced to pay colonial taxes and currently paying more than 500 billion US dollars to the French treasury every year.
So many African countries that were colonized by France are still spending the money that they were spending before independence. This money is being printed in France. It is being regulated by France. They bring it to Africa. All these African countries don't have control over their own money, the money that they spend. Even France is no longer spending franc. Since January 1st, 1999, they now spend euro. But these African countries are still spending the CFA franc. First of all, let me tell you the meaning of this CFA franc. It means French colonies of Africa. This is what they are still carrying around. And then how do you call yourself a friend of Africa when France is the one deciding who would be president in each of all these Francophone African countries? France is the one that decides who becomes president, and as soon as they install a president for them, the president becomes like a boy. It's just like a messenger. And so they do the biddings of France, and then France ensures that they stay there as dictators. That is why a lot of the Francophone countries, their presidents are there for decades. I mean, look at Paul Biya. How long has he been in power? More than 40 years, if you consider the time that he was also the prime minister. And then the moment they are done with an African president, they just take them out. In fact, they sponsor coups in Africa. So they control the economy, they control the money, they control who's in power in these countries, and of course, they control the natural resources in these countries. Do you know that there are so many French troops in some of these African countries where the citizens are complaining that there has not been any improvement since the troops came? But guess what? The natural resources are leaving the country. Francophone African countries have been complaining for years. I told you guys what happened when they finally left Guinea. They poisoned the food that they left behind. They burnt down all the things that they had built, like hospitals, like schools. Who can be so cruel, so mean, and still call themselves your friend? Lastly, I told you guys about how the Francophone countries in West Africa came together with the English-speaking West African countries to come up with a currency, which means that we would all have the same currency in West Africa, and it will make it easy to trade. And even when you travel to Ghana or you travel to Cameroon or any other West African country, you wouldn't have to change money. You wouldn't have to be converting money, which would be wonderful like they do in Europe. Remember, I told you about that. And as soon as those African presidents came together to come up with that currency, guess what France did? They came up with a new currency for their Francophone countries in West Africa. It's like France decided to sabotage that plan. And guess what? The French-speaking West African countries are now going with the new offer by France. It's just a new way of continuing to control them. It's so sad. You know what? Let me just say, if you have any friend that treats you like France, today I'm praying for you that you will get sense and that you will be liberated. Make sure that if anybody says that they are your friend, they are not treating you the way France is doing what? Treating African countries. I would love to hear from Francophone Africans. Let me hear from you. Do you believe what this ambassador said? Do you believe that France is your friend? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But I'm so grateful that South Africans are doing this. I wish that all of Africa would do this. And I know we all have issues that we're dealing with. Some people will say, have we finished our own issues? No, we have not. But really, millions of Africans are still under bondage of France. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Once again, shout out to Julius Malema. You guys now don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.
France must grant full independence to all African countries and allow them to determine their own currencies, monetary policies, and economic direction.
So real quick, guys, I just have a question for you. There's a video that has been circulating of a Nigerian delegate who collected some thousands of dollars during the night of the PDP primaries and then went and bought a brand new Toyota vehicle.
Oh, hey, delegate!
Delegate. Okay, and then in this video, we could see him celebrating and showing it off. Okay, we're in trouble. I don't know. So right now, being a delegate is becoming the most lucrative job in Nigeria because they know they collect bribe. And then at the same time, there's another delegate, this one in Kaduna, who allegedly spent 12 out of whatever amount he received that night, 12 million naira. That is about $28,000, I think. He decided to share it among the people of his local government. Some people are praising him on social media, like, what a wonderful delegate. But then at the same time, you have to ask yourself, okay, now like this we go to go. Is this going to become the trend now? Everybody now would want to be a delegate. Being a delegate would now mean you vote for somebody based on how much they give you. Would we still have delegates that would be sincere and righteous and vote for someone just based on their competence? And the last question is, what happens if the person that will do a good job does not give the delegate money? Does that mean the delegate will not vote for them? So, I don't know. Is it really a good thing that the delegates collected bribe? I'm sorry, I know that in the comment section, people would say it is national cake. For some reason, Nigerians like to call our country, they like to call it a national cake that should be shared. And so a lot of people would say, well, it is our money. They should collect it when they are given as bribe. But guys, this is blood money as far as I'm concerned. And I know you guys who not like this, you will attack me. But this is the money that they were supposed to use to develop our country. The money that you're supposed to use to build us hospitals, build us good schools. Because they are not spending this money on what they should, people are dying every day, literally, in our hospitals, on our roads. This is blood money. And so then they give to these delegates. And a lot of people don't see anything wrong in the delegates collecting this money. It is bribery. Even though he went back and shared, I don't know if he shared everything he collected. It doesn't even matter to me. But he went back and shared it, among the people. So let me know what you think about this. I'm not telling you what to think or what not to think. Because now everybody would be, when you grow up, what do you want to be? I want to be a delegate. Because, in one night like that, you can just make $30,000. So let me know what you guys think about the delegates that bought a brand new Toyota that is showing it off, and the delegates that distributed 12 million naira among the people of his local government. And above all, is this going to be the new trend in Nigeria, being a delegate and collecting money? You guys not doing much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. You guys remember my uncle Tunde Lanira of the Tunde Lanira farms. I'm so excited to tell you that he's Dodo Ikire. That's the plantain snacks. It's now available on Amazon. You can literally order and get it the next. Who is that? Who is eating? Hey, Rafu. Do you not see that I'm shooting? Can't you wait till, Father, I don't know, kind of want to take care of this. I cannot even handle it. Take two, let's go back. Take two, let's go back to where we were shooting. You can literally order, get it the next day or 2 days after, I don't know, depending on where you live. So if you're living in Florida, New Jersey, you can now literally go into African stores, the ones that we have on the screen, and purchase the dodo ikire. Now, those of you living in Europe, Canada and so on, don't worry, they're working on it. They will get you your dodo ikire. Me, I'm just looking forward to when the gari will be on Amazon. Their gari, oh my goodness, the gari is just what I look forward to. And what's happening? What's happening now? Raph, he went inside there. Jesus. Jesus. He's not even Nigerian. And he's this crazy about the ikire. Oh God. I have to wrap this up because I don't want him to eat my own dodo. I have not eaten. I have not tasted this dodo ikire. He usually call it the way he's the one that caused all this wahala. But now Raph has, you're influencing Raph. The other thing is, he wants me to remind those of you that have been contemplating buying a farmland, whether you want to buy it or not. Deadline is this month because the planting season is here. Remember that you can buy a farmland from 160,000 naira all the way to 1.2 million naira. And then they will plant cassava on this farm and then they will be giving you returns. I've talked about this in the past. I'll put the link to that video in the description so that I don't take too much of your time. But they are starting to plant. And the people that have already bought, they are getting their documents this month. So please, if you've been contemplating, if you are interested, this is your time. These are the lands that they have available and the locations and the prices are attached. And for those that are wondering, this nice stuff was sent to me by Ex-Natives. That is the Nigerian-American designer in New York, New Jersey. If you would like to buy one of this or other outfits that she designs, just go to xnative.com. We'll put the link in the description as well. All right, y'all, it's very real, and I'm keeping it right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I'm watching you on Plasma TV. Press the subscribe button and the bell button. Until next time, I'm going to see you all later. Peace out.